So everybody's still together. The people who could be the military police, the people who could be the garrison, and then oh my God, I'm such a nerd.
So there.
I know more about this. I know more about this. Hold on, than our own branches of government.
Yeah, no.
What are the balances?
I mean, it just goes to show you how good this show was that we can,
Welcome back to another episode of Medium Podcast. It's your host, Melissa Nami.
And it's me, Connor.
And today we've got a special co-host for our Attack on Titan edition of Medium Podcast. It's me, Sin Hilua.
Hello, everybody.
Hey.
What's up, dude?
What up, Mace? How you doing?
Glad to be here, finally.
How you doing, dude?
I'm great. Here to talk on some Attack on Titan.
I know. We have to have you on for our nerdiest episode.
Well, I mean, it's our favorite show, right?
Damn right.
Yeah, favorite show.
Our favorite show.
Yeah, I mean, I love the show, but I wouldn't say it's my favorite.
Okay, I respect.
Definitely love it though. It's top 20.
Top 20? You have a top 20?
Top 10 maybe. Top 10 maybe.
I only have like a top 5 for favorite shows.
I can name 5 other animes that I like more, at least.
So my favorite shows are Attack on Titan, One Tree Hill, Real Housewives of New Jersey.
Wait, you're
just kidding.
Dang.
But like you're like half joking
One
because
Tree
you do
Hill
watch
is
those.
it's actually Attack on Titan, Real Housewives of anything. And then,
Yeah, I've only heard good things about the Real Housewives.
yeah.
I was gonna say, when it comes to show, it like Attack on Titan and Game of Thrones are the only ones I've kind of stringently watched, with like standards and expectations and stuff like that.
Expectations.
Like, no, seriously, because like once you like become a fan of something, like you expect the fire every episode, like
100%.
And we saw with season 7 and 8 in Game of Thrones, like there's nothing worse when it's just like a slow death, like, and that's one thing I was like really scared for Attack on Titan as a show, but like we enjoyed that, and rewatching, especially season 1, like it's a completely different rewatch, as compared to like a first watch. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh yeah. Oh my God. Now watching it, knowing everything, right? Like knowing the end, knowing how it's all finished. It's so, I start to pay attention to the little details that because they freaking, I mean, let's just say what it is. This episode is going to be full of spoilers. If you haven't watched the show, fuck off. Or don't complain.
And we should make it like general for like the general audience too, like like people who may have never heard of Attack on Titan, like maybe we can make it like palpable for them somehow. Yeah.
It's in the way that I would describe it is probably like one of the best political dramas out there.
Definitely,
I would agree with that for sure. Yeah.
I think it definitely becomes that at a point in season 1. Do you remember like your first time watching Game of Thrones?
Game of Thrones, yes.
Or no, I'm sorry, not Game of Thrones. Attack on Titan. Ooh. It was around the same time. That's why for me.
Yeah.
Because I was watching them at the same time.
Yeah. I get it. So I remember watching it. Yep.
Was it just like on your own, or like?
Yes.
Do you remember the year?
It was. It was 2018.
Yeah, that's about time. Yeah.
So I remember I was working in Beverly Hills and I was watching it in and out, like when we were driving.
On your phone?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I would watch some on my phone, and then I'd like, when it was really good, I'd go home and watch it on
Did
TV.
you start with
subtitle? Yes. Yeah. Yes. Okay. And then I rewatched it dubbed.
What's your general opinion on sub versus dub?
I love the subtitle, like the voice acting, right? The Japanese voice acting. The American voice acting is dramatic for like almost no reason. The Japanese voice acting is dramatic for all the right
I almost
reasons.
think they're appropriate for the cultures, like I think the dub is one of the only ones where I can be like, hey, this is recommend worthy too. Like they're like, the aired voice actor for Eren Yeager, and like there's some heavy hitting lines for sure. So
yeah,
I want to give the dub its props, but yeah, I started out on sub too.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Have you ever noticed that the subtitles are different between the subbed and the dubbed sometimes?
Oh yeah, that happens in a lot of animes.
Yeah, a little bit of lost in translation.
Is that what's that due to? You would think I would think what they want to translate visibly is what they're trying to say in Japanese, right?
Yeah,
versus,
definitely.
I don't know, maybe not.
No, I understand what you're saying. It is weird that they wouldn't just have both subtitles the same.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe it's just
syntax.
I think it's different companies too.
Yeah, that makes sense. I want to kind of go through this in like seasons type of thing. So I do want to start off with season 1. That's why we started off with the season 1 freaking rock album.
Yes, the intro, the original intro. I remember watching that, just being like scared, just like there's so much going on. It's violent. It's a lot. What is this intro? Like I wasn't big into intros at the time. Like I was just like, I mean, your average cartoon intro, but this is the first one where I guess you could see it develop over time. So you kind of learn to like the intro.
Yeah.
So like Game of Thrones was the same all 8 seasons.
Yes.
So
I thought it was always cool to give game. I know you've never seen Game of Thrones, Con.
Yeah, I've seen a few episodes only.
To give it credit where credit's due, right? The map that they would show for the Game of Thrones, like when certain battles would be won and stuff, in the intro it would change.
Oh, okay.
So like graphic design wise, that's pretty dope. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Yeah. So they would always. Did you ever remember notice that? Yeah. The flags would change depending on who won what battle. I thought that was always dope.
Yes.
So Game of Thrones had its things, but I do say Attack on Titan is the better political drama.
Yes.
Overall, even violent. I mean, it is a little violent, and that's kind of like, what would you guys categorize it as? Is it political drama overall, but like the first season does have a horror vibe.
So that's where I want to start is like the first chunk for me in Attack on Titan is what I would refer to as the That Day arc. It's learning the world of Attack on Titan, seeing the breach, and then I would say it pauses when you kind of learn about Annie, or when the captured Titans are killed.
Yeah. That's
when that arc ends and the political drama begins, because then you're like, all right, who are these foreign enemies and stuff like that. So the first arc, That Day arc, is more of like a horror for me.
Yeah.
Like I remember like starting the show and then stopping. Like when I first started, it was Bertold. I saw the big red giant and I was just like, pause, already too complicated. And I was right. It was more complicated than I could possibly imagine.
Yep.
Because little would we know what, who he is, where he comes from.
Yeah.
But I was just like, pause, put it away for a couple months. And then I kept hearing it in the zeitgeist. And, I was just like, all right, let's give it one more shot.
Yeah.
And then I think what invigorated me was like the concept of ODM gear. It was like the little video showing the gases and stuff. I was like, oh wait a minute, what's all this about? This kind of ancient technology, but like steampunky. I don't know.
I thought it was really cool too. Omnidirectional mobility gear. I thought that was. I liked everything about that. I thought it was really dope. So I agree with you. I think that our day, that day arc is definitely horror. And then when the whole Sonny and Bean thing happens, mystery. Right, a little bit of a mystery. We're like it's like the whodunit.
Yeah, two captured Titans that were going to be experimented on. Yeah, randomly killed by who knows. So it was a mystery to figure out who did it and why, which led to this. Who are our enemies? Aaron Little. Oh, forget about that. Like
loaded question.
Okay.
Yeah, that scene is ridiculous.
Yeah,
I agree.
So.
Okay, so that I agree with that, and then let's say that the end of it, that middle part of it, because we get the Battle of Trost, right?
Yes.
Action. Simultaneously, it's kind of heavy back in the mystery, because the way that they do have that plot line, right? Like they get out of the Cadet Corps, they're doing their thing. Like they're not even out of it yet, right? They're just kind of gearing up to pick their
the beginning
ranks.
Of the show is so fast. It's like boom, they're attacked. I'm angry. I'm going to join the scout regiment. So they join as, trainees. And from there, they get sorted into their regiments. And then, boom, Bertold appears again. And then another wall is smashed. So it's just like everything is kind of like boom, boom,
Call
boom.
him the Colossal Titan.
Yeah, but at this time, nobody knows he's Bertold.
Okay.
Yeah, Colossal Titan.
The Colossal Titan.
Yeah, let's try and keep away from
we're introduced to the
season 1 terms.
Armored Titan as well. But I was even thinking about
that's season 2.
when they're attacked and then they send the mass attack of civilians. It's like because they're short on food. Like,
oh yeah, that's
what a gnarly
crazy
part that is, huh?
Yep. That's crazy. Yeah, to think that they just sent 250,000 people off to extinction. Right. And then that's what the crazy thing. Oh, fuck. It's such a good show because it's a political drama, what we think. Right. And then it folds like season 3 into a completely different political drama. But we're still dealing with the politics of of paradise, like parody, right? Paradise Island. We're still dealing with those. Fucking amazing.
Do you think humans have ever had an enemy like that? Like White Walkers or like Titans, where it was like we all ganged up? Maybe it was like Genghis Khan, maybe? Like, what do you think the biggest, like, do we all got to get pitchforks?
It's usually just each other.
You got to wonder what the real story that is, you know?
I think the last one was like World War II.
Yeah, and that's just people fighting people.
Yeah, it was just people fighting people.
Yeah. That was a monster. Yeah,
bad people.
Yeah, but I think that's really what the show is about anyway. It really is just people fighting people.
Yeah,
that's very true too. Unfortunately, because that's what it. Yeah, that's life. That's the other weird thing about this anime is it does kind of mirror what's going on in our real world to a degree.
Certainly have the word Titan for any other thing, and it fits pretty appropriately.
Yep. So yeah, we're going over plot lines, right? Like arcs. That's a good way to.
I say you're gonna have to narrow me here. I'm gonna be bouncing. So
no, we're good. I'm following it, right? So we get to the Battle of Trost, right? And then that's another, like, the mystery unfolds, because then it's like, what the fuck is happening? Like, of all days for this to be happening, they
by the time we're at the Battle of Trost, what has happened so far?
So, just craziest first episode ever of any show. Aaron, our main character, arguably one of the best anti-heroes in any protagonist type of role, right? His mommy gets eaten by his stepmommy. Oops.
By a Titan.
Spoiler, by a Titan.
Oopsies.
But that's what I'm saying. It's so intricate. You know what I mean? So Aaron's mom gets eaten. He gets the rage, right? He wants to kill all the Titans, joins the cadet corps. And then, they go through the training. When they kick down the gate at Trost, they're about to pick their regiment. So everybody's still together. The people who could be the military police, the people who could be the garrison, and then oh my God, I'm such a nerd.
So
I know more about this. Hold on, than our own branches of government.
No.
What are the balances?
I mean, it just goes to show you how good this show was that we can,
Man, I know more about Attack on Titan history than I know
What's
about
the quadratic formula? No,
but I know about U.S. history. That's bad. Stupid. But so they're about to pick their regiments, right? And that's the day. It's the day before, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Yeah, the eve, pretty much the eve of it, and then they kick it down. They, that whole thing. You're right. It goes so fast because then it goes Battle of Trost to plug the gate.
Yes.
And then everything goes. You kind of remember?
Yeah. It's like entry battle, and then breather at the training. Oh, you're learning how to use ODM gear. Colossal Titan shows up. Walk his kick right out.
Oh yeah, well that's the other part. Right after the battle, that's when we find out Aaron's a Titan.
Yes.
Can we not gloss over for 1 second? We need to talk about Sasha eating potatoes. For a little bit, because that's probably one of my favorite parts of the whole entire series. Is just Sasha's existence in general.
Air 5. Because she
great character.
She's one of our forms of comedic relief, I'd say.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why it hurts so bad in season 4.
Well, because
season 3.
They're like a training group. It's like a bunch of seniors who have been together with each other for a while. You got the funny guy, you got the stoic, you got the pouty broody dude, and it's like you got the homies, and Sasha is the comedic relief for sure.
She is, but she's don't sell her short. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Season 1, we know it as the potato girl that gave shot as less than half of.
She was the most human out of everybody.
Yes, and I'm gonna give her flowers though, because she actually is one of the first people to be a badass on the show. When that Battle of Trost occurs and the Colossal Titan kicks down the gate, they all flee to the other side of the wall.
Yeah.
And one of their people, their ODM gear kind of slips out, and she's the first person.
She shoots and stabs him through the leg to save their life.
But she stabs his leg.
She projects it and then goes into the dude's leg that's unconscious, to prevent him from falling and killing.
Well, she goes and she's the first person to instinctually use her ODM training to save one of her comrades.
And I don't know if you remember from those ding-ling-ling-ling, in between commercial breaks fillers, one of them was it's during the training, they cut those, and if you can't recover from that, you'll die and you shouldn't even be here anyway.
So I don't know, I love it. Such a good show. And then I'm gonna give her flowers on that for sure, because she's cool. I love Sasha.
She's definitely wifey material.
Yes.
Love you, Sasha.
I'd date a cartoon. Fuck it.
I'm gonna be honest. Sasha's not my Attack on Titan bae.
Well, I mean, they're all the baes, right? I'm not going to choose
I'd have to
between
think about
them.
that one for sure.
Hanji's mine.
Yeah.
Hanji, great character.
She's smart. She's badass.
She's a little too high-strung for me, I feel like.
I like it. I'll let her boss me around. She can educate me.
No, I love being bossed around. That's not what I'm saying.
She could boss.
She's all over the place. I need someone relaxed.
Educate me. That's true, right?
I do the all over the place.
Yeah. But it's like, right. So then the arcs continue, right? So after they plug the wall, we get Eren figuring out his attack, basically his Titan skills to a degree. They do that little, the little bit of like experiments.
Yeah, because
right?
I mean, he transforms. Like, all right, you're a Titan. Let's have you plug it up. He transforms and he goes AWOL. He starts attacking Mikasa. All right, so at this exact arc, there's a team. The rear guard is overseeing this operation. Eren trying to plug up the wall. So when I say some characters' names, you just like tell me what bounces off your brain. Levi.
Levi, go. Yeah. What do you mean? What goes off and bounces off my brain? Badass.
Okay. Eren.
Hurrah!
Armin.
Smart.
Ian.
Is he the one with the glasses?
Ian Dietrich.
I don't know that name. Dork.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. I don't remember this name at all, but after the rewatch, he's the guy. So that one girl with the glasses is like, this mission's done. Eren ain't doing anything, and she's gonna call it off. And he's like, no, because Mikasa gets all crazy accurate.
Oh, he's the third one. It's the chick. It's Mita-B.
Yes.
And then
he's like considered like the best soldier in the garrison regiment.
Do you remember Commander Pixis, the one who?
Yeah, I know Pixis. Yeah.
So it was his people.
His crony?
Yeah, because we had the garrison was the first. Well, Pixis with the garrison behind him was the first ones to really, trust Eren, I guess, to do something. And then, when after he plugs up the wall and he's all decaying, that's when we see the scouts.
Gotcha.
So Pixis is actually the first guy to back him up.
Yeah,
I remember that.
Ian Dietrich is like, okay, I agree with me because we're going to sit here and defend Eren. We're going through with this plan. Oh, Titans are coming. We're going to defend you. Yeah. So he's gangster for that. And I don't know if you remember, but the last shot of him is someone's about to get eaten by a Titan. He comes up, pulls them out of the mouth, and the Titan's teeth come down on his neck and twist his head off.
Yep.
This show is wild, bro. Why did you have to get that? You could have just shown a head coming off, But the fact that it was a grinding, dude, Isayama was on one, bro. You get that from seeing. I don't know. You get that from seeing something.
No, you saw his mom get eaten by a lion.
You worked on a farm, and you.
Have you ever seen that video of the people? Never mind.
Well, I'm just saying it was just
There's too many horrific videos.
Yeah,
there's
recap
too many.
it.
Well,
Ian
I
Dietrich.
said eaten by a lion, and I forget what was it. Was it there was a family of 3? It was a husband, a wife, and a mom. And the wife was getting mad at the husband, and she opened the door, and it might have been a bear farm, or something. It was somewhere. But
bear farm.
He the hold on.
What is a bear farm?
Have you ever heard of Arizona?
Oh my gosh.
No, I have not heard of Arizona. So it's where they grow bears.
I think of a bunch of big men planting. It's bearded men planting vegetables.
It's a horrible. I'm not going to be able to find it. It's something. Forget about me. Forget about me. I'm making a bad joke. Okay. Anywho.
Oh yes, back we plug the wall.
Yeah. So that those people he's talking about, those were Pixis's
the garrison regiment.
His go-tos.
Got you.
Yeah. That one girl was a bitch. She was so fucking annoying.
But I guess
do it for your people.
After that arc, Erwin really pushes forth. All right. We're going on a mission, everybody, to figure out what's going on outside the walls. That's when this show really turned up for me.
The 57th expedition. I wrote it down.
Yes, is that the 57th expedition? Yeah. That's when I would say this show goes from being an anime to hey, this is the caliber of this show is setting, the foreshadowing this show is just
the foreshadowing is insane.
It's insane.
But it's almost, a lot of it's almost not foreshadowing because it's just stuff that you wouldn't know to look for if you didn't watch further seasons too, which is really cool.
That's
like
what would drive me crazy about trying to write a book is like where to like put everything like in order. Like how come this doesn't have like the ordering of this show?
Yeah,
everything happens on point.
I'm sure a good book takes a lot of rewriting. Because
sometimes shows drag out and you're like, dude, we started with this one mystery and we haven't even talked about that in 16 episodes. Like this show is just gives you enough breadcrumbs to like keep you interested in the main arc, but like yes,
you're right.
Can we go over the map and just like where everything is and everything? If I pull it up,
pull it up.
All right.
I was gonna say we were talking about World War II. I guess the real map is the world inverted, and Paradis, the island that we're starting out on season 1, is Madagascar.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Very neat.
And so Marley, our future belligerent, would be at the coast of Africa. So,
what do you have it on right now? Is it a center cam or what?
It's on center cam.
Curious. I'm just curious.
It just looks like this right now.
Yeah, I'm just curious. I don't know where to look. Right on. So that's kind of crazy that he actually takes real life comparisons when it comes to geography too.
Well, I mean, same thing with George R. R. Martin, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
It's draw inspiration from real life, so...
And then let's go ahead and be honest. The only reason that show fell off is because they lost the author.
Runners are heavily responsible, But the source material, it takes time, you know?
Yep,
that's true. Pull up that map, bruh.
Okay, so this is the map.
So which one should I pick here?
This is the
should I go
map
for the one
right here.
Should I go for the one that they show on the show?
Yeah. So
okay, I'm gonna pull this up.
Our story starts out in the
look up Attack on Titan map, not season 1.
Okay. I was gonna see if there maybe was one that was
So we start out
Attack on Titan parody map.
So it's those outer nodes are meant to draw Titans to isolated so they can focus their efforts as opposed to covering this massive front of wall.
Bro, can you imagine if they broke a different outer cove?
Like, so...
Not Shinganshina?
Yeah. So that's why this show feels fast, is because I forget. I'm like, oh, there's only 3 walls, but we start with the district of Shiganshina that gets broken through. They retreat to see. It's important to know the 3 different walls in this world: Maria, Rose, and Cena.
Yes.
And so the first one is breached by the armored Titan.
Yeah, because they break into Shinganshina and then they break wall Maria, right?
Correct.
Gosh.
I was gonna say it'd be nice to have. Nice to have the map. Connor.
It's coming.
Let it work.
It's the internet probably.
Yeah, it's the internet. I think I'm connected to my hotspot right now, actually.
Why?
I think I forgot to change it.
Stupid. That's probably why.
Yeah.
All right. So I do want to ask,
but
what do you think?
Our world does start out very small. That's for sure. Like Aaron says, we're in a cage. Like it's just within the walls that we know this show.
Do you think this first season has a main theme?
Well, I mean, in Aaron's, our protagonist's eyes, it's, humanity is cattle. We're stuck in a cage. We do the same thing. We have no freedom. Freedom is what's important. That's on the outside of the walls. That's what we need to obtain. I would suppose, so from his viewpoint, it's that. But from me watching it,
is this a good map?
My goodness.
Plan. It kind of made sense, right?
Oh, no, yeah. These things show up and it's just like boom, boom.
Yeah.
Like it's orchestrated for sure.
And then season 2 comes and then Titans are showing up where no one's broken anything and they're like, what the fuck, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy shit. All right. So do you think, Con, there's as a viewer, I try to take myself back to the first time I watched it. And I remember thinking, I'm like, holy shit, like this is humanity. Who's on this island, who's within these walls, this is humanity.
This is it.
And they're outdone right now. You know what I mean?
The Titans are the bad of the bad. Like that is the enemy right there.
Yeah. That first season, you're just like, oh, they're stronger than they made them sound.
These crazy looking humanoid, genitalialess, weird finger gun running, doing all kinds of weird movements. Like, I want to create my own Titan run, to be honest. Like, I want to know what, I would look like if I were
That was my run right there.
Yeah, they do that shit. They do all kinds of weird shit.
I think I just do
Yeah. I like the finger gun.
Yeah, the finger gun ones is good.
Oh yeah, there's some wild poses and stuff.
I like the guy that
there's
they
like
have
a straight
under the tree.
T-pose. Yeah, there's all kinds of unique Titans.
Yeah, as horrifying as the Titans are, they're also very funny sometimes to look at.
The enemy was very simple. Like that's it. Like it was simple.
Yep.
So
that's what I feel. And then for this season, who do you think our main characters are?
The trio, you think?
For sure. And that's kind of like what I want to say, right? Like as far as our main group goes in season 1, the only ones that are really highlighted are the trio, right? We got Eren, Armin, Mikasa, and then towards the middle of it, it starts being Jean. You know, he's the first one that's really in with them as far as the, you know, he's the guy that was disguised as Eren when they were trying to out the female Titan and stuff like that. He was given
just a little bit more substance as a character than Connie or Sasha. He had a little bit more opinion, a little bit more of an attitude. You know, you had more of a little bit...
They didn't make him the strongest. They didn't make him the smartest, but he was definitely
similar to Eren, you know, which, you know, created conflict between them. Which
second runner up to everything almost. Second strongest, second smartest, second most badass. You know what I mean?
And he's a great character too, so.
So I thought that was pretty neat that they kind of highlight that, and then they don't even really highlight Bertolt and Reiner or Annie to a degree, right?
No, that's intentionally done for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure, yeah. Because you would never expect Annie of anything.
Yeah, because the most that we get of those characters specifically is in. Well, first of all, it's in the beginning when they're at the Cadet Corps.
I was going to say we are kind of avoiding the end of season 1 right now.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, now I'm going to go a little bit chronological, right?
Yeah.
Our main characters, how we meet them. You know, we meet everybody that day in Shiganshina. We meet the main 3.
The childhood friends.
Yeah. And we meet
and they really are kids.
They're babies.
In season 1, they're shown as kids.
Yeah,
they're kids.
And we meet Hannes, which is cool. You know what I mean? I like him. And then we meet Grisha and Eren's mom, who very quickly become irrelevant, the both of them, as far as they're gone after the first episode.
They don't get much screen time, no.
Not even a little bit, right?
Yep.
And then after that, it cuts to them at the Cadet Corps, and you know we meet Sasha with the potato, which is great. With what's the freaking guy's name? They're
Connie?
Shades. Yep.
Shades. Yeah, because we meet Connie then.
We meet Connie then too. Yeah, they're both kind of like the comedic silly ones, right? And then we meet Jean because he's always conflicting with Eren.
Amir, Historia, you know, or
Bertolt is kind of just with the guy that fights around with Eren to a degree at the Cadet Corps.
He's just kind of that guy's buddy.
Yeah, and then so that's how we kind of meet everybody. You know, the only time we meet Annie before that really is we see her fighting with Eren, you know what I mean, when they're doing hand-to-hand combat, which is a good foreshadowing as far as, you know, when they end up going hand-to-hand as the female Titan and the attack Titan, which is pretty dope, right? So I thought that was really neat how they kind of show us our characters, but they don't really highlight them yet, right? And then as the season goes, you know, Reiner, they do get more
always in the background, though. They're always in the background looking, you know, moody.
Yeah. So
I wonder why.
Because they're the bad guys.
Are they?
Are we the baddies?
That's later talk.
No, yeah, for real, and that's what makes this show so good is that it is so complicated, right? But so this is, you know, to me the whole training thing goes real fast. That's whatever.
Yeah.
I love it when we get out of the Cadet Corps. I love when they kick down the gate at Tross. I think that's so fucking badass. Because we get to see what that training's done. You know what I mean? Eren saves Armin. Badass, right? Because we love that camaraderie, that friendship, that brotherhood. He was always saving him in the flashbacks and everything we see. Yeah. That's so cute. You know what I mean? And then you're like, oh my God, I just got Ned Stark, which you wouldn't get because you didn't watch Game of Thrones. But he's like the main character for the whole first season.
Oh, this guy's got a plot. Oh.
And they behead him at the end of the first season. You're like, wait,
it's Sean Bean. Oh,
yeah. I was like stoked on Game of Thrones takes on things like that. But I mean that, you know, that's how the book was written. You know?
Yeah, for sure. But that's what's crazy. You know what I mean? So where was I going with that?
I was thinking of when they start going outside, the expedition arc.
That's your favorite?
That's when I started critically watching this show, because things just weren't adding up. Like, oh, they're out, you know, and then there's the female Titan, so it's like there's different intelligence. That's when I started really getting like frustrated. Like, I want to understand this world. Like, I thought it was just the goofy ones. Why are these ones different? You know,
what got you into it?
Into Attack on Titan?
Like, what was the scene that you're like, I love it.
That's a good question. I have no idea, to be honest. I can't remember
the specific instance that I went from like an 8 to 10. So yeah, we like endure this arc where it's like we're venturing outside the walls for some unknown reason. Everyone has his, you know, commander has his orders. So they think it's one thing. Next thing you know, the team's breaking up. Eren and Levi squad are going through the forest. Everyone seems like everyone's in the dark. We don't know why we're here. And then it's like we hear dum 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 dum. And then you see a soldier come through on his ODM gear, and it's like slow motion, and it's like, oh hell yeah, badass soldier. And then SWAT.
Oh yeah.
Female Titan comes busting through, just barreling. And I remember going, oh shit, what is this show? And that whole scene right there is just gnarly. Like, they build up Levi squad, you know, do you trust us, Eren? We're here for you. No, I don't. They have his back. They ambush the female Titan. Okay. Just stop me, bro. I can talk about this.
Okay. So let's just start it off, because we're missing the first thing that made me right. Because, you know, let's go scale of 1 to 10, right? From scale, I've never seen the show, to a solid, I'm interested in the show, like 6, 7, was seeing Eren's mom get eaten. I was like, holy shit, this little boy's mommy just got eaten. And you guys know me, I'm a mama's girl, so that hit home for me, right? Yeah. And I was like, fuck, that's crazy.
I remember that being very artistic. I was like, oh wow, they took a different tone with this. I was like, you know, the blood looks like flowers, and it's just like, it's traumatic, but you're like, it just aesthetically looks like, I don't know, it's just like different. Doesn't
Dude, she ate Eren's mom the way we eat shrimp cocktails. She was just like,
I remember like the neck snap, and it was just like, oh gosh. And that Titan in general, the big smiley Titan, you know, like I was just like, oh, that one looks different too.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that was the first interest, and then when the Battle of Trost happens, and we see you're interested when you see, oh my god, one of them's fighting against the other Titans, and then they do that fucking flashback thing, and they show us it was Eren.
Yeah.
Hooked.
Yeah.
And then that was me it got me from a 7 to a 9. I'm like, okay, this is as good as the show gets.
I was like, I'm done with this life. Eren's gone. Eren shows back up. Yeah.
I'm right. I got to a 9. I'm like, this is as good as the show's gonna get, because the whole Pixis thing, the plug in the wall thing, cool. You meet the freaking Levi squad, you meet the scouts, cool. I was like, this is as good as it's gonna get, right? And then the scene you're describing,
yes,
I'm like, this is crazy, because now we got another enemy.
Yeah.
I turn into a 10 when they shoot her, when they get her with the trap, and I'm like, he fucking knew about this bitch, and he knew he was gonna.
The female Titans in pursuit of them, like on their tail, and
he knew.
Eren's seeing, you know, soldiers go down one by one. He's like, bro, I can stop this. Like, people are dying right now.
Yeah.
Like, right when he's about to lose faith in them, they ambush. It's just like fire, and just like millions of spears, and you're like, oh, cool. You know, fast forward, Levi circles back around, you know, oversee everything. She lets out a scream. Everything, plan goes to hell, which turns more into the mystery whodunit. There's someone in ODM gear that could be responsible for this.
And that's where I want to give Connor his flowers too, because there's nothing to foreshadow that Erwin knew. Like, we had no idea.
Yeah.
We're just like, oh, we're going outside. Like, they didn't give us any idea. This fool had a hunch. Kind of when he was like, who do you think the real enemy is? But I thought he was just talking about the government.
He had so much more knowledge than we had as viewers, season 1 viewers, you know. I
totally thought he was just talking about the government, and that, like, because the government, I mean, here they lie to us, and the cartoon they lie
so
to.
Little do we know that it's someone in ODM gear that is the female Titan. So it's like, who is it? It's a human, most likely. So she transforms again. And this is the most tragic part of season 1 for me, is when Annie retransforms.
That is one of the most intense parts. But I'm gonna go ahead and say that's when I turned into a 10.
I think my 10 didn't happen until later on.
Really?
After season 1.
Yeah, so you see this.
I think Reiner and Bertolt were my oh fuck, this show's sick.
There's so many of them, which is good, but you think, oh, Levi squad is the most badass, and then you see the female Titan just swat them down, kick them. Petra.
Can I say how annoying it is though, really quick? Omnidirectional mobility gear, and these motherfuckers are going straight.
Okay, so is it like the leather strapping that goes around the legs, and they support themselves with their leg muscles? Like,
what do you mean?
Like, ODM gear seems like goofy. Like,
I think they're in like a harness. Have you ever been in a harness?
Yeah, like where you have to pivot and stuff, but like, gosh, that does seem so difficult.
I mean, it's actually, they're so like, being from work, we'd always have to gear up in a harness, like if we go into a boom lift or anything like that. And the way that they think about like rock climbing, you know, that how they have that extra strap that goes around your thigh, how that kind of lets you move your body around. That's kind of what it is. That's, I think, I mean, I got the
ODM BDM gear.
Yeah, pull it out. You have one.
And yeah, it's crazy how they emphasize like the blades are like disposable, you know? Gosh, like it's a brake handle on it's the craziest thing I've ever seen. Yeah, so like you would think like, oh, why not just have like a big sword? But like if you're taking out 10, 12 titans, like, yeah, that's going to dull your blade. So it's like better to have like 4 box cutters on you, you know? You just swap them out. But that's what always like kind of interested me too. I'm like, why do they have like long, thin blades? Like, interesting. But yeah, I guess makes sense.
That's very true too. Because I mean, that's one of the things I always thought. I was like, oh, these fools got skill when they don't waste their blades. You know what I mean? Because the first thing you see, you're like, oh, I took out all my blades. Oh, like, loser.
Yep.
They're always, that's one thing that I was always confused about too, is how before missions they didn't have just fuel and shit just everywhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just have it in every building. So it seems like you don't have to go all the way over there to get it and
to send your command.
Well, yeah, they have the depot, but when Titans hit the fan, you know, plans don't mean
exactly.
anything,
but yeah, so you should plan for there to be multiple depots, not just one.
But that's one of the things that I thought was crazy, right? Because that whole 50, because you start seeing how smart Erwin is, and you're like, oh, this guy's.
He's paying checks. We're all playing checkers, you know.
That's the thing too, because even after they catch Annie, she lets out the scream, and then he's like, "Oh, we saw the Titan get devoured. Did you see the same thing for the, And he's all replenish your gear, you know."
Yep.
I'm like, "Oh, he knew." But yeah, that's what pisses me off. Omnidirectional mobility, and these fools are going straight.
Yep.
I'm like, can you guys zig? Zach, let's do another Game of Thrones reference.
There
Recon, dude, come
on. Some good
on.
Animations of this show of people just getting down, but definitely.
And then you have a noob like Mikasa just come through, and she's just like fucking better than all of them. Like, okay,
Mikasa Ackerman.
Yeah, she's an Ackerman.
I guess. Okay.
That's not season 1 knowledge.
Well, Mikasa's
her
last name.
They always say she's like, oh, she's like 10 troops.
Yeah, she's fucking badass. Well, she's the first one as a noob, like as a baby soldier. They're like, oh, you're coming with us. Yeah. You know what I mean? So yeah, the annihilation of the Levi squad, sad as shit. It's
so devastating. And then Aaron's like, screw it, I'm gonna kill you all. And he transforms too. And I hate this show because they do this twice to us. They hype up Levi squad. We are good. All slaughtered. Aaron transforms, I'm gonna kill you all. He starts screaming and trying to get her. The fight ends in the female Titan slicing his head in half. That's essentially how this fight ends.
Yep, she karate chops him.
Yeah, she destroys Aaron, so...
and then she slobbers him up. She's just like gobbled him up and ran away.
Oh, yep. And then the pursuit of Levi and Mikasa follows that to retrieve him, saving Aaron once again. You know.
I think that's a crazy part too. Is like because you hear the rumors about like, oh, the scouts get fucked up the most. You know what I mean? They're the ones who die the most, and then we see it happen. Right as soon as this fucking expedition goes down, is like they're all going down left and right. And then it's like. That happens so much. Levi sees his whole crew just obliterated, and he's like, "Gotta keep going."
So, like, especially if you watch season 4, Levi always has a look of like, I will never forget what you did to my squad. Yep. I will. Oh god, he is bitter. That dude.
And he knows too that he's not gonna forget that shit, dude. Yeah. Petra was sweet.
Oh, and the way she was just smashed up against the tree with like a bent. I don't know. It's like, why choose these like such?
Just so Levi's imagination could go there one more time.
It's like these like archetypal deaths. Like they're like vaguely unique. Each one has like he was spun to death. He was kicked. Like, gosh, man, this guy has imagination.
What do you think? Because that first time, right? Because that's kind of when we realize Aaron's now, whatever the objective was for these intelligent Titans.
Yes.
That's when it's first revealed that Aaron's kind of their objective. Key. Yes. And that's crazy because you mainly, at the end of that scene, you know, when they cut open her jaw and they
retrieve him,
they look back and she's crying.
Yeah. It's like, oh, emotion for an enemy?
Yeah.
Why is this show making me...
She's crying, and we don't even know she's Annie yet at that point, you know what I mean? But then you're like, okay, because they open up the next scene and it's her fucking tired, waking up.
Yeah, this is all revealed in season 1. Is, you know, it ends with the reveal of the female Titans. So.
What do you think she's crying about? Because she's a fucking loser?
I mean, in that moment, you know, as far as these intelligent Titans, she's definitely the most proactive when it is coming to... you know, completing the mission, and it seems like she's just the most motivated to complete it.
Yeah,
and maybe it's to get home or whatever it is from this Titan. You know,
yeah, because that's when we start seeing her flashbacks with her dad. Annie, you must come back home.
Oh my goodness!
I'm so sorry, my daughter.
This show, like,
Annie, you must come back. I think I'm doing that pretty good.
You never develop any sort of sympathy or feelings for enemies, you know. Or,
left and right.
And if you do, it's a good show.
Yeah.
But my gosh, it's like a rewatch. You just have a completely different perspective of like, damn, we were all just trying, you know? Like,
they do a really good job at making you feel bad for her, though, because the next couple scenes, all they do is show you her obligation. Mm-hmm. How all she wishes she could be was normal. And you still kind of don't know yet, right, at that point, that she's her. But when you get the reveal, you're like, fuck, like, she doesn't want this power. She doesn't want this responsibility.
And that whole reveal is interesting, you know. Annie, we need your help getting Aaron out of the city. Yep. The city's empty, deserted.
Yo, I think the plan would have worked if Mikasa wasn't there.
We're just going to go down this basement here where Titans notoriously can't transform, you know? And she's like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
Aaron's like, what are you talking about? Like, you're not scared of anything.
Yeah.
Like, she's like, hey, no. Wait a minute, what's going on here? Why is no one around right now?
And that's where I love this show even more, how they play with time, because they're showing us that while simultaneously taking us back to Aaron getting the information, you know, when
that's what I love about this show. They give us a nugget of action without the context, and we go, wait, what? That was cool. And then next episode, it's, you know, filling us in, ending with that climax right there. Like, they do that multiple times.
Yeah.
It's a great formula to keep us interested, for sure.
That's one of the things I really enjoyed about it. And then you see him denying it, and then that's okay. So this is what I kind of want to talk about too. So that whole thing happens, and then they're like, you know, they're going to the city, and then that's when they have the battle inside of Walrose,
or district, right? Or whatever it is. Yeah,
that's inside Walrose, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So there is it Stohess? No, it's not.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, you know what?
I think it's Stohess.
Stohess, that's right. Here, so many of these places have gotten messed up. So fires off the gun, you know, alerting everyone to ambush. She flicks open the ring.
Which is cool because they show that. Do you remember that scene when Armin asks?
I'm gonna set my gun down, but I'm gonna put the real weapon on right now. Oh, the foreshadowing, bro!
So good.
Come on.
Yeah, seeing the ring on the second watch was cool.
Why would this show focus on a ring? That's
so cool.
Just a ring, dude.
Yeah.
The thing that sends the 6 dudes that ambushed her were just toast immediately. Yeah. And then she just starts going crazy, and then she starts trying to get out of there, especially when Aaron gets the upper hand.
So that's the thing that's crazy. She stomps out the ground, right? And then Aaron's a little bitch. There's like a little scene where imagine one of us is trying to like save the others by turning into a Titan. And let's say me and Yukon were just watching Mason self-cannibalize with no avail. He's just they're all just standing there. He's like, and there's the hands bleeding.
Oh my gosh. Yes, so yeah, the process of transforming into a Titan is still not like 100% like, do you just bite your hand? Do you have to have intent? Like, what is it required?
He's literally self-cannibalizing.
Well,
they're just
isn't that so important, especially for, you know, season 4? Like, oh, you could cut your leg off and, you know, still remain, you know, not become a Titan. Yep. There's rules to this stuff. So,
so the thing that I think is crazy is it, you know, he's not able to do it. Ground gets stomped out. he stabbed through the heart.
Oh, yes. Laying there helpless again. Aaron, come on, we need you.
Can we just figure this out for a moment? There's a scene where Armin moves a fucking concrete wall on his own.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Sometimes,
he moves a whole ass concrete wall. Like, the wall's on top of Aaron. He's like, we gotta get this wall off of him. And he does it.
It's a phenomenon. It's like when you see your bros in danger, you get super strength.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's like it's called like bro strength.
I know what you're talking about. It's called bro strength.
Look, you guys.
I know what you're talking about, but yeah, no.
If you see your child pinned under, you'll gain like temporary superhuman strength, quote unquote.
He used whatever technology they used to build the pyramids.
I was gonna ask if you guys thought that was like any type of like the paths type of thing, like because he's gonna get a power in the future if he's kind of strong now for it. You know what I mean?
Hold on, I'm looking this. I want to see this scene.
Yeah, look up.
It's just
what would we look up?
Annie
for that?
transforms. The rubble falls on top of Aaron, pinning him. Armin was still at the mouth of the opening. Then tries to find him.
Look up Aaron stabbed through heart.
Aaron stabbed through heart.
Yep.
Pierced by rubble.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if it shows that part right there. There's like
Is
a 2 minute.
YouTube?
There's a 2 minute scene of it.
I don't think it's necessarily like indicating the paths or anything like that, but definitely another probably one of the first instances of Armin giving the hype up speech. Well, actually, no, he did that when he went AWOL, plugging up Trost. Aaron, I'm talking to you. Remember?
Yep.
We're gonna go see the ocean. Like,
I found the scene where he's like.
Is it on YouTube?
Yeah, if you look up like Aaron stabbed through heart, there's the scene right there, but it's literally right before it. He frees him from like the rubble.
Okay.
But it's so that scene's actually really, you spelled Aaron wrong. You spelled it like the real name. Eren, Eren. Eren. Aaron stabbed by wood. Yeah, that's it. So it's that
this
scene
one?
right there. Yeah, but it's right before it.
It's just
it's
Armin.
right before it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't have. But he moves the whole ass concrete
scene?
wall by himself.
No, that's just the ending sequence.
I think that's
right
the ending
there
right
of,
there.
Season 1 right there.
Yeah, that's the end.
But
I accidentally clicked on it. All right, cool.
But what was it?
So yeah, they start fighting. Mm-hmm. So it's like you would think, oh, we could just show a fight sequence. This is cool enough. But like, they show the fight sequence. Next episode, they start out with the Church of the Wall.
Yeah.
Their ceremony going on, and then boom, Annie comes in and destroys half of the flock there. Just like, okay, we're introduced to a new group of people.
We meet Pastor Nick.
Yes, and the Order of the Wall.
Really brief.
So what's up with the wall? Why is the wall so significant? There's 3 of them. Like, you know, that's where our setting has been the whole first season.
Yep.
And like we see, like the fight goes on, and he starts, losing. She starts trying to escape by climbing up over the wall using her hardening. Yeah. Mika says not down for that. Yep. She does her thing, and then
I think that part's super cool, and it's also cool how synonymous it was from the what was that part? There's a part where I think Jean is getting we went through this whole season 1 thing and we didn't bring up Marco once. Fuck Marco.
Yeah, we really did.
Yeah,
fuck Marco.
If we went that depth, if we went into that depth of detail, like it would take.
Well, he's like the first sweetheart character. Like everyone's like, oh, Marco's so sweet.
But just another instance of foreshadowing, He's the only thing that made John relevant,
Didn't he have who was Marco crushing on? He was crushing on someone, right? Or
no, you're thinking of the other bowl cut fool that was crushing on Hitch. Marlo.
Fucking they had basically the same name and both bowl cuts. Fuck you guys.
Right. I know. I said Marlo. Now I forgot the other guy's name.
Marco. That's absolutely wrecked. So yeah.
But yeah. So that whole I thought it's cool because there's that scene right where it's Connie, Annie, and Marco. I think they all go for the save. And, Jean's about to get eaten and Annie does that really cool, like, throat. Like, she just lands on him and pushes him down. Yep. You know what scene I'm talking about? And then Mikasa does the same thing to her. She's like, now fall.
Now fall. And you just see Annie falling. And then boom. And Aaron's like, all right, this is my chance. He starts going crazy. And then you see a big energy beam. And then Annie goes into her hardening cocoon, is what I would call it. And then that's essentially the end of season 1. It's like, all right, we had a big battle. Who is this person?
Well,
we don't know.
The thing that they do again is Aaron opens her up. You know, he's... And then he opens her up and we see her crying.
Oh, yeah. I mean, just more...
And you're like, why is she crying? You know what I mean? That's
the Stone Cold Annie is showing like a lot of emotion.
Well,
like,
I don't know. I cry a little bit when I fail. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, what important thing were you doing?
Like I said, she has the most ambition to complete this objective, and she just can't seem to get the job done. So
sad.
She goes into her hardening cocoon. Aaron's getting grilled, like, what was this for?
Yeah.
Did we learn anything? And he's like, hey, this is one step closer, like...
One step closer to the end.
Exactly.
And I'm about to break.
All about to break. Speaking which, the wall breaks at the end of the credits.
Yep.
Showing a colossal Titan face.
Yep. That part's crazy. You're like, wait a second.
So wait, the walls are made of Titans?
That's season 2. That's when we start.
And that's when I'm just like, oh my gosh, another mystery. Yep. Like, what is this show? So,
because that's the last scene, right? Annie's in her cocoon.
It's like a weird guitar, or like, you have that.
And then season 2 opens up, and it's Hanji with Pastor Nick, and they're interrogating.
Exactly.
Right?
It takes off right where we left off.
And that's where we'll be next time on the Attack on Titan edition.
This was fun, guys. I had a great time.
This is a little bit of a passion project portion of the episode for me. Like, this is a passion project, of course. But
I was gonna say, anyone who likes Attack on Titan
within the passion, because I love Attack on Titan, and that's the first thing. When we talked about doing a podcast 3 years ago, it was, let's do one before the final season comes out. And I mean, here we are, better late than never.
Honestly,
hell yeah, Mace.
Hell yeah.
Connor. You guys, thank you for tuning in. If you haven't watched Attack on Titan yet, fucking do it.
Yeah. Thank you guys.
Like, share, subscribe. See you next time. Oh yeah.
Shinzo.